today I'm with Satbir Hanspaul, a third-generation family business leader from Tanzania. We'll talk about his family business journey as a respected family business in East Africa. So Hanspaul, I will introduce Hanspaul to you. Hanspaul is the CEO of the Hanspaul Group, and Hanspaul is one of the Tanzania's foremost manufacturing conglomerates. The family business was created by his grandfather. Satbir will tell us more about it. Hanspaul Group is one of our nominees for the Family Business Award this year. So we wanted to know more about Hanspaul Group and the impact it has on the African economy. Satbir, thank you for being here. Could you introduce us your business story?
Thank you, Hakim. So, Hanspaul Group comprises of 4 to 5 companies, and my grandfather came from India in 1950s, late Dharam Singh Hanspaul, and he started Dharam Singh Hanspaul and Sons Limited, and later in 1985 and in 1980s, my father, Kamaljit Singh Hanspaul, who is our current chairman, he took over the business for repair workshop and manufacturing small agriculture implements. And then slowly we ventured into packaging in the year 2000 and got into the automotive division in 2007. And we then expanded into electric vehicle retrofits and real estate as well. So I, as Satbir, I joined the company in 2008, roughly 16 years ago. And clear vision was to study abroad, to bring the ideas from the global industry back home, and try to implement what we educate ourselves into our running small running businesses.
Very interesting. So your grandfather started everything. You joined in 2008, and my question would be, why? Why did you join the family business? Was it something you wanted from a young age, or was it something that your father had for you? Like, yeah, who came with this idea of Satbir joining the family business almost 20 years ago?
I'll be very honest with you. My father is an extremely lenient man, and when I went to study in the UK, University of Birmingham, he had told me that it's your decision. If you want to come back, perfect. We have our factory, and if you find a better future there, it's also fine. But as a responsible son, to see the father struggling all the life, trying to make our ends meet, as well as collect money for our school fee, I thought it's only fair that it's about time to go back home and join the business and see where we can take this forward. And to be very honest with you, Africa is the place to invest. And Africa is the place where we can add value to a lot of supply chain models. And that's the main reason I came back to Tanzania, joined the family business, and we had a clear vision, my father and I, that I'm more of a finance person, more of a strategy person. He's more technical. So we divided the companies into 2 different sectors, that he would head the technical side and I would head the growth, the financial and the strategy side. So like many family businesses, you sometimes have a bit of a tussle on new ideas and old ideas. But I must quote my father. He always said that if you and I join the business as a cocktail, we would make an awesome drink. So that's what has brought us here today, and I must thank him for that. And today I feel that as a family-run business, those are the values, how we can actually chip in to mix the ingredients to have a new dish available to the African market, and Hanspaul is one of that dish.
Very interesting. I like the comment of your father on the drink, the Hanspaul cocktail. Looks like your integration, your father was supporting your integration to the business. Looks like he was very open to you having the business and giving you some room. Could you tell us a bit more about how it was in 2008 you come into the business? So how was it?
So I always used to tell my father that that we have to be on our business, we should not be in our business. So that's how we were able to scale up our businesses. That is how we were able to venture into new sectors. Like we are now into automotive, we're into packaging, into paper packaging, we're into construction, we are into real estate, and a few other sectors we're going to be tapping into the next 3 to 5 years. So that particular part is, again, I must quote one of my professors. He always says that you and your business are two separate entities, and you must have that that point. That how can you separate that? And then as a family-run business, we are always we always wear three caps. We have to take some decisions as a shareholder. We have to take some decisions as a director, and sometimes we have to take some decisions as a manager. So as a family-run business, as a self invested business, during the day, your 10 to 12 hours of working, you'll be changing those caps without you knowing. So you have to be very careful with that. And we as Hanspaul, as myself, as the CEO, I'm very clear on those choices, and I try to build a team of people who could dare to take decisions. And we tried our best that we have young talent. My group COO is 29, so the group CFO is 28. So these are the people who actually joined the company when they were 23, 24, 25. So and I'm 36. So I feel that I should be probably the oldest person in the company, and we have to promote the talent, and we must take advantage of the African dream.
So I mean, I like it because you're telling me that you have a vision for the continent, and you empowering the youth in Africa. That's very good. And actually, I didn't know you were 36. I learned something. Very young CEO. Especially for a family business, we have to say it. It's not every family business. We can feel the trust and the good relationship between you and your father as Group CEO of Hanspaul. I'd like to ask you something about, we talk about the past with the history of the family business, talk about the present with you in the business, collaborations, external, the non-family directors. And I'd like to know, how do you envision succession planning for your business in the future? Because we had succession, you had first generation, grandfather, you had second generation, the father, second generation, third generation, very nice transition. I like the story, it's a smooth one. We don't have the story of like the father not wanting to hold back, not wanting to give responsibility to the next generation. So yourself, as the group CEO, third generation, how do you envision the succession planning in the future for your business?
Hakim, that's a very interesting question, and you may or you may not believe it, that that is something I'm already working on. I have two sons, they're twins, and they're 6 years old, and I always have this discussion with my father and sometimes with my wife Tanvir that we have to be very careful with our succession, because the last 30 years, the way we have come into our businesses, and the next 20 years with AI in place, with technology in place, and with the rapid growth of Africa, we have to build businesses that are adaptable. We have to build businesses that have professionals run the business. and we have to build businesses so that our next generation that's going to be educated in big universities, they must have the value that we have, because we as Hanspaul, we have very very deep roots with Africa, and with the new education systems, with technology in place, they are getting very far from human beings. And I feel that when you're too far from human beings, it's difficult to somehow have the emotion behind a strategic decision. You know, everything becomes numbers, and everything becomes profit and loss. And sometimes that is not very healthy for businesses, because businesses are built with people, and you have to look after people, and people will then run those businesses. So when we have new generation coming into businesses who do not have value for people, they have value for technology, then it gets a bit tricky. So we are trying our best to embed those values with our children from now, and so that when they go out in the world with so much technology. I mean, small example, I was 12 or 13 years old before when I touched the PlayStation. And and my sons, when they were like 3, 4 years old, they are on it. And now at 5, 6, the things they talk, is amazing. And I'm proud of that. But it's worrying sometimes that we have to catch up with values against technology. So technology is just getting better and better and better. Computers, artificial intelligence. So the value part is our duty as parents, as top position holders in businesses, especially family businesses. So as our succession has to be well planned, it must also have the core values embedded to the bone marrow of those leaders who we are going to bring into our businesses, be it our children or be it professionals.
I mean, that's very interesting, because you talked about the word values, and values are at the core of the family business success. If you succeed as a family business, it means your values are enshrined and are understood by all the generations. And what you're saying is like transmitting these values you have to your children, and they will transmit them to the next generation, and so on. And I see something. What I hear is stewardship from you. It's a mix of leadership, vision, values, etc. And that's something that is a key element in the family business longevity. I'm sure, and I wish your family business to still be there in more than 100 years, inshallah. And actually, you already answered the next question I was going to ask you. I appreciate that, about the next gen role. But now I would like to know, in this case, outside of transmitting the values, having a vision for your kids, do you plan to implement processes, for the integration of your kids? Do you see like, oh, I want the next CEO to be family, or you're like, oh, they can be responsible owners and don't have to be in the management? So what is your stance on this?
Hakim, my late mother, we lost my mother just 2 years ago, and my late mother always says that one must get the chair or a big up based on the real talent rather than virtue of birth. So when you follow those rules and those visions, you get the blessing from the Almighty automatically. You must do justice to the chair. Otherwise, the chair will not be forgiving. So be it the family coming and running the business as a CEO or not, it will depend on whether they deserve that chair or not. And if they want to deserve that chair, then they have to put in the blood and the sweat. But it's not going to be impossible if we start the journey now. I started working officially in the business at the age of 20. But I started working with my father as his guy who kid carries his briefcase at the age of 10. So we come from school, we go to the business, and we are like the father's person who carries his bags and etc. And that's where you understand that you and the family business is not like you're coming into a new place. So I like the question of integration, but I'll be very honest with you. I don't remember integration. I mean, from childhood, it was like automatic that this is where we're going to be working. So I do understand that sometimes that can be a challenge. Perhaps we are blessed as a family. We do not get that challenge.
Okay. No, I mean, you said a good word. When integration is smooth, you don't feel integration. You don't feel like it was planned. And actually, that comes with the values as well. And I think I have time for one quick last question. That would be, Satbir, you said, okay, you started unofficially at 10, going to your father, and you're not the first family business person telling me about, I was a kid, my father would take me to the factory. I was like, I want to go to the factory, so I will go with him to see, And that's kind of built a burning desire, a desire to be a part of this family business journey. And I'd like to know, just one quick question about the panel topic. You have a panel on entrepreneurial spirit of the family. And you open new line of business and so on. So just one quick answer on this. How would you transmit this entrepreneurial spirit that came from your grandfather to you, to the next generation?
So it's very interesting. My sons started crawling in my office. So my entire office they know my sons, and they should know them as their identity, not as my sons. So for them to be embedded into the family business in the future, they start the journey now, when they're like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, so that when they are into the business, they don't expect a welcome. They don't expect someone coming and showing them into a cabin, and they should not expect me to tell them what to do. I mean, if I have to go, and I must quote this, I was reading about the Ambanis and Mr. Mukesh Ambani. I must quote this. When he came to his business, and his father asked, and he asked his father that what should I do? And his father told him that if you expect me to tell you what to do, then don't expect to be a businessman. You go and figure it out. So likewise, these are the great people of this world, and we are inspired by them. So I hope that one day I'll be able to tell my sons the same, that they should figure it out. And the ground is open, and they can play how they feel fit.
I love this quote. I will use it again. I will use it. And just we have time for one last question. Which advice would you give to entrepreneurs who are building their business? They are founders, for them to build legacy.
Any business, I feel, must have purpose. It must have purpose. It must do justice to community. The existence of that business must have betterment to that area, to that city, to that country. And once you do justice, once you do well for the country, once you do well for that industry will look after that business. That community will look after that business. That country will look after that business. So to get into a legacy system, we have to give purpose to the business. We have to give the vision of the business must be shared by the team. And everyone must understand that if that business strives, we all strive. If that business grows, we all grow. If that business multiplies, whether it is on numbers, finances, sectors, countries, etc., we all are part and parcel of that journey. And the more we give in, the more we get.
No, I'm very happy we had the chance to talk to Satbir. Once again, one of the nominee for the Family Business Award, Hanspaul Group. I could say, what I get as takeaways from my side is the Hanspaul cocktail is made of a clear vision, you know, meritocracy, stewardship, values, and love also. You know, I hear a lot of love in what you're saying. And you know, when I talk with people like you, Satbir, I'm very happy because we are, you know, talking about the narratives. It's a narrative about family business. In Africa, when we think about family business, we're like, oh, you're the CEO because you're the son, not because you're the best. Oh, family business, you know, not serious people, etc. And when I hear your story, I see family businesses as key actors of the African economy, enablers, empowers of the population, local population, with a real impact for the environment and a clear sense of their duty for the continent. You know, so I'm very happy that we had the chance to have you, Satbir, with us. Thank you so much for accepting, and best of luck for tonight with your award. I hope you'll get it, or that will be maybe Arnaud Group or IBL, but at least people hear about your story, and we're very happy that we get this chance. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hakim. Thank you for having me.